finish with the jar. I'm going to start with the jar for this video. I'm going to switch it up for you. If you don't know what the hell this is, please check out my favorite TBR video, link it down below. Okay, so I'm in my quest to find a bookish book, but I forget which ones were the bookish books. I think there might be this ones. Okay, so one of these has to be a book-related book. There are no more patterns, and I know already which ones are for general nonfiction and music nonfiction. So we'll see. So here I have Japanese, which is food writing. I am excited to read that book, but it's not a book, and I'm looking for a book. Sylvia Beach and the Lost Generation, which could be a book, but I have it here for a different project, so it doesn't count. I'm sorry, I know this sounds very complicated, but this is how I like to roll. I have The Dinner by Hermann Koch, which is a fiction book, but that does sound really good. So I'm going to leave it out. And I'm still going to continue with the book. Where the hell? Should I rewatch the video? I think I should rewatch the video as well. There are some purple thingies. Maybe it's the purple thingies. Let's see. Yes, I so want to read this. The Possessed by Elif Bachman. These, by the way, for the record, the purple ones are the books. The Possessed is an essay collection by Elif Bachman where she talks about people who study Russian classics and life in academia and, of course, Russian classics. So I'm extremely excited. Also, it has been 3 minutes of filming and I haven't even gone into the intro yet. Cue music. Hello everybody, if you're still here, I'm Roxy, this is RecmBS, and today I bring you a video I'm so excited to be filming, and it's my March of Mammoths reading intentions, I'm going to call it. It's not a TBR. I'm not sure I'm going to get the jar involved for this one, just because in case you don't know, I'm going to link the announcement down below, but March of Mammoths is a month-long readathon that takes place in March, where you are supposed to try and read books that I think are over 800 pages long. I never pay attention to that really, because a lot of my books are big hardbacks that if they were paperbacks, they would be 800 pages long. I just take it to mean big books. Although I do think that some of these books are over 800 pages long. It's just that I don't necessarily pay attention to the rule, if that makes sense. I'm sorry. So what I'm going to do is show you the books that I'm definitely getting to, the books that I'm starting at the very least, and the books that are maybes. There is also another readathon taking part, which is the Irish readathon. I am going to be participating with books that can double as Irish books. I'm going to start with those and Mammoths. The other thing is the Invisible Cities project. I have some ideas for that, but it's not going to be my priority, and so I'm not going to talk about the books in this video. But if I do end up reading things for that challenge, I'm going to make a separate video, and I'm also going to include the picks in my March wrap-up. Finally, you know I do a podcast in Spanish, Pluma Pantalla, for which I have to read a couple books, and also I do some buddy reads. So I am going to be doing all of that. These are the Mammoths that I'm going to be reading and combining with the Irish readathon. Oh, and finally, there is one book in particular that is very big that I'm waiting for it to arrive. That should have arrived like 2 months ago, but if you follow me here and you watch most of my videos, you may have caught one of my "the post-sale service here is a mess" joke. Except it's not a joke, I just laugh at it, because if not, I will scream and cry. So what I'm saying is that if that book arrives, I'm just going to flip out and read that and stop whatever else I'm bringing to read it, just so you know. My life has become very unpredictable, and I'm doing my best to plan for it because I'm a planner, but I just need to give up and do what I can. That is all I wanted to say as an introduction. I know it was too long, I'm so sorry. Irish books. I want to read Oscar Alive by Matthew Sturgis. This is a brand new biography of Oscar Wilde. Out of all my newer written Wilde books, this is the only that is like a full-length biography. You know I love myself some Oscar Wilde. I just adore him, and I want to read every biography of him ever written. This is one step towards that. Also, I have yet to make it through the Michelle Ellman one, which I know is the authoritative one, although it does contain at least one mistake. But it's just so old school that I can't take to read more than a bit at a time, quite honestly. The other book that I do own but I don't have here is At Swim to Boys. This is a coming of age novel, but it's really big. It's like this. I bought it in Dublin 2 years ago. I wanted to read it right away, but of course I didn't. It's about friendship, which I think evolves into love, and it's set against some sort of political unrest. I don't know if the travels in particular, but it does have to do with Catholics versus Protestants and, you know, the political unrest, which is something I know a lot about for not being even British. I'm very interested. It's supposed to be really good and I'm very much looking forward to it. The other two books that I definitely want to get to are A Tale of Three Cities, Istanbul by Bettany Hughes. She has another one that sounds so good, that is new, that is about conceptions of Venus and Aphrodite. And I so want to read that, but I forbid myself to get it until I get to this one. This is a history of Istanbul and it's really fun. I've been enjoying it so far. And then the other novel that I want to get to is The Man Who Loved Children by Christina Stead. How cool is this cover? Although it is very, I mean, I'm definitely going to crack the spine, but it looks easy to read in the sense of, you know, spacing is nice. Spacing for me is so important. And also I like margins because I take notes and put tabs. So yeah. Anyways, this is lauded by Jonathan Franzen, who's an author I've been discovering I really like. And it's supposed to be about this man who has a lot of children and he is kind of obsessed with them, and it straddles the line between, okay, is this weird? Does he want something more? Or is it just that he really feels affection for them and it's family drama? It's supposed to be great. Very much looking forward. Also, she's Australian, I think, which, you know, for some reason we don't get a lot of Australian books. Finally, I want to make time every single Sunday of March to sit down on my bed and read the huge library book that I own, that of course I don't bring to my visits to my dad's house, but I filmed a whole video about. You can check it out down below, but I'll put that thumbnail here so you can get an idea. It's a huge book. It's like this big. It comes in a box and it's by Taschen and it's about the world's most beautiful libraries. So yeah, those are the books that I'm definitely going to finish, hopefully. That I'm definitely going to start, let's just say. Oh, and by the way, I need to read the books for the Booktube prize. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, this is really a general look at my big books kind of video. How many of these I will get to read right away, no one knows. We'll see. Moving on with books that I definitely want to start, but I'm not going to make a priority of finishing because they are good books to dip in and out of. I just want to give myself a kick in the butt to start them, but I definitely need to finish them before June. This one is Tales of Music and Musicians, from Voltaire to Ishiguro, although I'm sure most of these tales themselves are translated to English. This anthology itself is originally in Spanish because it's by Alba Clásicos, which is, I think, a Spanish publisher. The tales are all translated from different languages. It's not only English, as you know just because of the title. Starts with Voltaire. We have some Grimm brothers, E.T.A. Hoffmann, Gerard de Nerval, Herman Melville, Tolstoy, Gustavo Adolfo Becker, Anthony Trollope, Alphonse Daudet, Henryk Sienkiewicz, Turgenev, Guy de Maupassant. You get the idea. I'm so excited because, of course, you know, I love music. I love reading about music and musicians, but also I just love short story anthologies, and this seems like such a broad selection. All the books in here are big, but I don't think the first one has 800 pages, so I'm sorry. I'm going to start the first one, but if you count the whole box set as one book, then we are way over. This is beautiful. It's in Spanish, but it's translated. It's called History of Women. And it does just that. It talks about the history of women. And I need to read this before June for reasons that will become evident soon enough. These were directed by Georges Duby and Michelle Perrot, I think. So different sections are written by different academics. Isn't this exciting? The content is translated from many different languages such as Italian, English, French, but also has some chapters originally in Spanish. It starts with antiquity, Middle Ages, Renaissance, and modern times, 19th century and 20th century. Now the question is, how Eurocentric do you think this is? But right here, for example, I'm seeing Argentina, Brazil, Mexico. So hopefully it will also talk about other continents, because remember, women get screwed over not only in mainstream countries. I'm very happy that most of the contributors here are women, and also the fact that I got this almost half off. I'd been eyeing this box set for probably a decade. It came out a decade ago, so it's not the most up to date, but you know, 20th century is fine for me. I never got it because I thought it was too expensive, and then I got it on sale and I was so happy. So yeah, I'm going to start that. It's not going to be my priority. Maybe I'll just read the introduction and consider it started and then move on with it in some other books that I own that are big. Why did I leave them so far? The sensible thing would have been for me to drag the books over and then start talking, but I didn't. I talked through them. In any case, these are just options for things that I might want to read. The Makioka Sisters by Tanizaki. It has this beautiful cover by Yuko Shimizu. This translation is by Edward Seidentsticker. Great last name. I also have a book on the history of Jewish people by Schama. This is part 2. In case you're wondering, no, I haven't read part 1. It's because part 2 goes from 1492 to the 1900s. That's the part I'm most excited about. I would read the other part, don't get me wrong, but this just sounded like more action-packed. Also, this one was on sale, so I got this one first. I also have Just Above My Head by James Baldwin. This is about a singer who is killed in London, and it's about homosexuality too, together with race. It's very interesting to see what he has to say about the intersection of those things. So I'm excited. I honestly don't know how much of this I will get to. Maybe I will get books that I ordered in the mail. Maybe I won't. Who knows? Maybe I'll have lots of time. Also, I might try to read the Bible, just because I think it's interesting. My dad has a cool Bible. It's like the approved Catholic edition by the Vatican. I don't know, but it's like the official one from like 20 years ago. So I think I'll just use that one and read a little bit every day. They say the Bible is really fun. I grew up in a religious household, so I did read the Bible a lot as a kid, but I thought it would be interesting to read it now as an adult and just be more cognizant, because at its core, the Bible is our foundational myth, much more so than the Greeks and the Romans, who are fascinating, but they don't impact us nowadays the same way that the Bible continues to impact us, for most of us at least. I'm very curious, and I would like to maybe read the Bible. So yeah, stay tuned in to see what I end up reading in March. Okay, if you like this video, please give a thumbs up, please subscribe, comment, are you participating in Marching Mammoths, and are you participating in the Irish Readathon? What other things are you doing in March? How has your reading been going? Just anything that you want to tell me will be fine in the comments down below. Check out the Bibliophile Daily, which is my podcast of literary facts, and there is a new episode every single day telling you fun little tidbits about literary history. Also check out all my other social media, which is linked down below. That's it. See you next time.